Pay close attention to what I am about to tell you, because these words will shake the very foundation of everything you have accepted about your setbacks, your disappointments, and the condition of your spirit. Across this earth, there exist only two categories of human beings. There are those who stumble through their days broken, exhausted, filled with grievances, barely making it from sunrise to sunset. And then there are those who rise with power when circumstances crush them, who find strength to smile while everyone around them crumbles, who get back up when the rest have abandoned the fight, and who triumph. The distinction between these two types, it has nothing to do with how smart they are. It has nothing to do with chance or fortune. It has nothing to do with formal schooling or pedigree. It is what I have named a positive mental attitude. Now let me make this crystal clear to you. This is not some fantasy about pleasant daydreaming. This is not shallow cheerfulness. This is not forcing a grin onto your face while your very soul is shattering into pieces. Absolutely not. A positive mental attitude is a force of the spirit. It is the capacity to look directly through the thick haze of hardship and still move forward with conviction, exactness, and intention. It is the single remedy known to mankind for overcoming defeat. And it serves as the bedrock upon which all enduring achievement is constructed. For more than 25 years, I dedicated myself to interviewing the most influential figures of our era: Carnegie, Ford, Edison, Rockefeller. These were individuals who constructed vast enterprises, not because their paths were smooth, but because they cultivated this unbreakable frame of mind. They did not run from failure. They welcomed it into their lives. They did not give up when obstacles appeared. They examined them with curiosity. They did not crumble when the weight of the world pressed down on them. They discovered how to transform loss into victory. And you possess this same ability. But before we go further, I must pose a question to you. What force is commanding your thoughts at this very moment? Is it terror, uncertainty, self-pity, bitterness? Or is it conviction, mission, thankfulness, ambition? Because your mind never stays empty or neutral. It is perpetually being influenced by something. If you refuse to take command of it, external forces will seize control. If you do not become its master, destructive influences will claim it. This is a reality I uncovered when I finally stood face to face with my most formidable opponent, which was none other than myself.
Before we continue, take a second to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Your support keeps us going and helps us bring more stories like this to light. While you're here, let me know where you're watching from. Drop your city or country in the comments below. I'm always curious to see how far these stories reach.
Hear me now with absolute clarity. Your mental attitude stands as the singular element in your existence over which you possess total, undisputed, and incontestable authority. You hold the power to command it if you choose to do so. This truth will either liberate you completely or it will offend the justifications you have been clinging to, because the beliefs you hold determine what you become. The thoughts you concentrate upon are what you draw into your life. The subjects you continuously contemplate are what you will ultimately manifest in your reality. You protest and say, "But I have attempted to maintain optimism and existence continues to strike me down." Then I must ask you directly, what is your definiteness of purpose? Because not a single individual can forge a powerful mental attitude in the absence of an objective so intense, so all-consuming, so extraordinary, that even the prospect of failure recoils in its presence. Present to me an individual who lacks direction, and I will present to you someone who merely drifts along. And the person who drifts, my friend, remains perpetually under the dominion of negative forces. But present to me an individual who possesses clarity about his desires, who awakens each morning with fire blazing in his core and vision burning in his consciousness, and I will present to you someone who is incapable of being destroyed. To forge an unbreakable positive mental attitude, you must begin by determining with precision exactly what you seek. Trust without hesitation that you will accomplish it. Take action every single day in alignment with that trust. Zero justifications, zero waiting around for inspiration to strike, zero dependence on external conditions to be favorable. Allow me to share something that most voices will never reveal to you. This world owes you nothing in terms of encouragement. The universe does not halt its motion to provide comfort for your frailties, but it will invariably reward certainty of purpose when it is supported by unwavering faith. When an individual makes the firm choice that he will refuse to surrender, that he will reject the surrender to pessimistic thinking, and that his mind belongs to him and not to his adversaries, then something extraordinary occurs. He starts to draw toward himself precisely what he requires. The right people materialize, the right circumstances surface. Power he never realized he possessed starts to surge through him, and failure itself, failure actually begins to fear him. But this transformation only commences when you grasp this next secret truth. Negative thoughts are not casual visitors passing through. They are hostile invaders. If you permit them entry, they will seize control of your home, which is your mind. If you welcome them and give them attention, they will devour your purpose from within. And if you allow them to remain and linger, they will persuade you to abandon the very mission that God positioned you on this earth to fulfill. Therefore, you must engage in what I describe as cosmic housekeeping. Conduct an inventory of your thinking patterns, observe and monitor your internal conversations, and the instant you detect your mind beginning to drift in the direction of fear, uncertainty, worry, or bitterness, halt it immediately as you would stop a criminal attempting to break through your door. Substitute it with gratitude, with faith, with the voice of authority that declares, I was not brought into this world to be shattered. I was not fashioned to exist in weakness. I am constructed from the identical substance that erected mountains, that shaped galaxies, that flows through the breath of champions. Now, permit me to confront the most damaging falsehood that keeps individuals powerless. The lie that says, I'm simply not a positive person. Absolute rubbish. You were not delivered into this life positive or negative. You were conditioned into your current state. Your surroundings trained you. Your past experiences molded you. But nothing remains permanently fixed unless you permit it to remain so. What has been acquired through learning can be unlearned. What has been programmed into your consciousness can be rewritten and reprogrammed. The secret lies in repetition. You transform into what you repeatedly practice. You accept as truth what you repeatedly speak, and your attitude will mirror the predominant thoughts you entertain across time. So if your desire is to develop an unbreakable mental attitude, you must begin with this fundamental principle. Take control of your input. Nourish your mind daily with faith, with courage, and with truth. Speak words of power even during moments when you experience pain. Absorb the words of greatness until they ignite inside you and burn with intensity. There exists no shortcut to this destination. There exists no hack or trick, but there does exist a pathway. And it commences with a single decision that regardless of what life hurls in your direction, your attitude belongs to you, not to your enemies, not to your critics, not to your past. It is yours. And that, my friend, marks the beginning of true power. If your intention is to develop an unbreakable positive mental attitude, then you must comprehend the force of autosuggestion. What exactly is autosuggestion? It is the mechanism through which your subconscious mind transforms into fertile ground for either poisonous weeds or nourishing fruit. Whatever you repeatedly declare to yourself, whether it represents truth or deception, your mind receives it, absorbs it, and ultimately accepts it as reality. Your success is invariably preceded by a dialogue, not with another person, but with your own self. Your internal conversation serves as either an architect constructing greatness or a silent assassin murdering dreams. The individual who stands up each day and declares, I will achieve victory. I will continue without ceasing. I will not be stopped, begins to mold his reality through the pure force of mental conviction. The individual who opens his eyes and declares, nothing produces results for me. I am exhausted. I am incapable of accomplishing this. That individual expires before he even departs from his bed. Whatever the mind has the capacity to conceive and accept as truth, it possesses the ability to achieve, but conviction must be hammered out daily through relentless repetition. It proves insufficient to hope a single time. You must condition the mind precisely like conditioning a muscle, daily, with intention, without mercy or compromise. Dedicate 5 minutes each morning to speaking life directly into your purpose, not in a passive manner, not with a soft voice, but with fire, with strength, with absolute clarity. Declare, I possess power beyond all measurement. My purpose blazes with greater intensity than my fear. I draw toward myself exactly what I need because I anticipate nothing less than complete fulfillment. You may not experience the feeling of it initially. That is entirely normal and expected. The subconscious is not altered by feelings alone. It is transformed by repetition combined with emotion. Speak it repeatedly, again and again and again, until the voice of victory grows louder and more dominant than the voice of doubt. Now let us venture deeper into this truth. An unbreakable attitude also proves impossible without the foundation of self-discipline. You cannot master your emotions if you prove incapable of mastering your habits. You cannot maintain a positive vibration if you remain held captive by negative rituals and patterns. Discipline serves as the bridge connecting thought to reality. In its absence, your good intentions remain merely dreams, and your destiny suffers delay. The individuals I studied with great care, Carnegie, Hill, Edison, Schwab, they did not ascend to greatness on talent alone. They rose because they governed themselves with iron will. They understood that the individual who cannot control his thinking, his time, his appetites, remains a slave existing in a world that was designed for kings. So I put this question to you directly. What do you tolerate in your life that weakens your spirit? What distractions do you invite that delay your progress? What comforts do you cling to that rob your future of its potential? An unbreakable mental attitude is not birthed in comfort and ease. It is birthed in discipline, exercised under pressure. It is forged in those moments when you declare, I will engage with reading material instead of mindless scrolling. I will rise from my bed instead of surrendering to sleep. I will speak power instead of voicing complaints. Because each time you select discipline over impulse, your inner strength expands and grows, and each time you surrender to ease and convenience, your potential dies just a little more. Now, let us discuss perhaps the most vital truth I uncovered after years of studying both success and failure across countless lives. Every adversity carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. If you truly accept this as truth, you can never lose. You may bleed, you may fall to the ground, you may endure suffering, but you will never be broken, because you will know with certainty this is not the end. It is the test that precedes elevation. Look backward across your own life journey. The greatest lessons did not arrive during comfort. They arrived during collapse. The greatest clarity did not come when circumstances were easy and favorable. It came when the storm struck with full force and you had to decide whether to drown or to rise. So I declare to you, develop the habit of expecting the good that exists within the bad. Train your mind to declare, this pain is preparing me for something greater. This failure is redirecting me toward my true path. This delay is protecting me from disaster. And what occurs when you adopt this perspective? You become unshakable. You become dangerous to defeat itself, because life cannot hurt an individual who grows stronger with every blow he receives. Now let me reveal another core teaching from my life's work. You are never a victim of circumstance. You are only ever a victim of your response to circumstance. Two individuals can face the identical setback. One transforms into a bitter person, the other transforms into a better person. The difference lies entirely in mental attitude. When life strikes you across the face, you get to decide, will I curse it or will I bless it as the teacher that it is? When someone betrays you, you get to decide, will I become resentful or will I become wiser and stronger in establishing boundaries? You cannot control what happens to you, but you always control what it becomes in your mind and in your life. This is the great secret of a positive mental attitude. It doesn't remove difficulty from your path. It redefines it completely. It doesn't stop the storm from coming. It teaches you how to walk through it with purpose and direction. Now, let me warn you about something inevitable. There will be people who hate your mindset with intensity. They will mock your optimism openly. They will call you delusional, unrealistic, or naive. Ignore them completely. Most people have become addicted to mediocrity. They have made a habit of hopelessness. They are threatened by anyone who dares to rise, while they have made their comfort with crawling on the ground. You must cut off mental infection at the source. Surround yourself only with those who speak life into you. Avoid those who feed your fear and doubt. Tell me who your enemies are, and I will tell you who you are becoming. But also tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you the limits of your future potential. The environment is stronger than willpower. If you spend your time in darkness, do not expect your mind to shine brightly. You must choose carefully what you allow to influence your attitude, because what enters your ears enters your spirit directly. Finally, let me leave you with this truth. You do not need permission from anyone to develop this power. You do not need a degree, a title, or approval from authorities. You need only one thing, a decision. A decision to own your thoughts completely. A decision to lead your mind instead of being led by it. A decision to become the kind of person that nothing can break, because your attitude refuses to surrender under any circumstances. If you make that decision today, if you say from this moment forward, I no longer rent my attitude to circumstance, I own it, I lead it, I protect it, then you are already halfway to greatness, because the world bends to the will of those who stand tall in spirit, even when the body is weary and exhausted. Stand tall, my friend. Now, let us now finish this journey. You made it this far. That tells me something about you. It tells me you are no longer content to merely survive from day to day. You want to master life, and mastery begins in the mind. The final layer of building an unbreakable positive mental attitude is this. You must have a chief definite aim. Without purpose, the mind drifts aimlessly. Without a burning goal, the mind wanders like a leaf in the wind, pushed and pulled by fear, doubt, distraction, and weakness. You must anchor your mind to something greater than comfort. You must wake up every day with a reason so powerful, so vivid, so personal, that nothing can shake it out of you. Not fear, not failure, not fatigue. Your definite chief aim is not just a goal you set. It is your identity in action. It is who you are becoming, directed by vision and sustained by obsession. Every individual I ever studied who rose to greatness, every single one had this. They didn't kind of want it. They didn't hope for it in a vague way. They lived it. Their purpose was not something they did as an activity. It was something they became in their very essence. Ask yourself, what do I want so badly that I am willing to suffer for it? What do I crave so deeply that I am willing to be misunderstood, ridiculed, doubted, and even alone to achieve it? What kind of life would make me feel that every breath I took was worth the pain it caused? Once you have that answer, burn it into your subconscious. Read it aloud, morning and night. Feel it as already done and accomplished. Speak it with emotion and intensity. Write it in stone within your mind. Because vague desires produce vague results, but clarity commands the universe itself. And once you are clear, once your purpose is fixed in your mind like the North Star, your positive mental attitude will become not just your shield, but your sword. Now listen to me carefully. The individual who has a purpose and protects his mental attitude becomes unstoppable. He may be delayed, but never denied. He may fall, but always rises. He may struggle, but never retreats from the battle. Why? Because he understands that attitude is the hinge upon which the doors of destiny swing. Your attitude determines whether a failure becomes fuel or your finish, whether a loss becomes a lesson or a lifelong excuse, whether a hardship becomes your downfall or your rise. But you must protect that attitude like a warrior guards his sword. You must defend it from negative influence. This includes toxic people, poisonous media, and your own inner critic. Mental laziness. This includes gossip, self-pity, and any thought that lowers your energy. Victim thinking. No matter what life throws at you, take responsibility, own it, shape it, rise from it. Never let another person or situation decide the meaning of your life. That power is yours alone. Now allow me to speak directly to your heart. As an individual who spent his life studying the greats and lifting the forgotten, you are not here by accident. You were created with a purpose. You have something the world needs desperately. Your very existence is proof that your destiny is real. But it will not manifest if your mind is filled with fear, self-doubt, and excuses. Your job is to cleanse your inner world. Feed your mind the words of greatness. Read biographies of giants. Speak affirmations. Take bold action. And above all, think thoughts that lift, expand, empower, and direct you forward toward your destiny. Every time you do, you grow. Every time you allow fear to control your mind, you shrink. That is the choice. Every single day. Now, let me give you a rule that has never failed me in all my years. Act as if it were impossible to fail. I don't say this lightly or carelessly. I say it because fear has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. The fear of failure keeps individuals small. The anticipation of defeat is often more powerful than defeat itself. But what happens if you remove the possibility of failure from your mind? What if you say, I cannot fail. I can only learn and grow. I cannot lose. I can only adjust and improve. I cannot break. I can only bend and bounce back stronger than before. That, my friend, is power. That is the seed of an unbreakable mind. Because you no longer hesitate. You move with confidence. You speak. You create. You command your reality. And in that commanding presence, fear runs, doubt flees, and the world responds to your certainty. Because confidence is magnetic. Certainty is rare in this world, and those who possess both become leaders by spirit, not just by title or position. Now hear me well. No individual ever succeeded alone, but no individual succeeded who waited for others to believe in him first. You must believe when others laugh at you. You must stand when others sit in comfort. You must speak when others mock your vision. You must lead even if you are still becoming what you speak of. Because the world will follow those who dare to be mentally invincible. So, let me summarize what you now possess if you dare to live it. A mind that sees opportunity in every obstacle. A voice that speaks power into the soul daily. A purpose so clear, so consuming that fear has no room to breathe. A discipline so consistent that weakness becomes irrelevant. And a mindset so positive, so unshakable that the gates of hell cannot stop your progress. This is not fantasy or wishful thinking. This is the law. These principles are eternal. They worked for Carnegie, they worked for Edison, they worked for Ford. And they will work for you if you work for them. So the question is not will they work. The question is will you? Will you rise and claim your attitude daily? Will you speak with strength even when your circumstances are weak? Will you persist when everything in you wants to quit and surrender? Because if you do, then not only will you build success, you will build a life worth living, a life of depth, a life of greatness, a life that impacts generations long after your name is spoken. That is the power of an unbreakable positive mental attitude, and it is yours now if you decide to claim it. So I ask you as your guide, as your mentor, and as an individual who gave his life to the study of success, will you decide? Because in that moment of decision, your destiny begins to unfold. And from this day forward, let your every thought, every word, every action declare to the world, I am unshakable, I am unstoppable, I am unbreakable. And so it is. But before you step into that destiny, understand this critical truth. The company you keep will either fortify your mental attitude or slowly poison it. Environment is not a small factor. It is the air you breathe mentally and spiritually. You can possess all the determination in the world, but if you surround yourself with negativity, cynicism, and hopelessness, your resolve will slowly erode. Guard your associations as jealously as you guard your health. Distance yourself from those who constantly complain, separate from those who find pleasure in tearing down your ambitions. Remove yourself from environments where defeat is celebrated and mediocrity is the standard. This is not cruelty. This is wisdom. This is survival, because your mind absorbs the dominant influences around it, whether you consciously recognize it or not. Seek out those who speak life. Find those who challenge you to rise higher. Align yourself with individuals who refuse to accept limitations as permanent conditions. Your 5 closest associations will determine your future more than your education, more than your current circumstances, more than your past failures. Show me who walks beside you, and I will show you where you are headed. The power of a positive mental attitude is real. The principles are proven. The path is clear. Now the only question that remains is whether you possess the courage to walk it, whether you will make the decision today, whether you will stand tall when everything around you says to fall. That decision is yours. That power is yours. That destiny is yours. Choose wisely, my friend. Choose now. The moment has arrived. Everything I have shared with you leads to this single point of action. You have heard the principles. You have witnessed the proof. You understand the method. Now comes the test of whether you will apply it or abandon it like so many before you. Your chief definite aim must become the center of your existence, not a hobby, not a wish, not something you think about occasionally when inspiration strikes. It must become the lens through which you view every decision, every relationship, every opportunity that presents itself. When temptation calls you toward comfort, your chief aim reminds you why you sacrifice. When fear whispers that you should retreat, your chief aim shouts that you must advance. When doubt suggests you are not worthy, your chief aim declares that you were born for this exact purpose. Write it down with precision. Speak it aloud with conviction. Visualize it with emotion until your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between the vision and reality. This is not optional if you seek greatness. This is the price of admission. And when you have crystallized that aim, when it burns so intensely within you that sleep becomes difficult and rest feels like betrayal, then you will have accessed the ultimate power. The power of a mind that cannot be defeated because it knows exactly where it is going. From this moment forward, I want you to understand something with absolute clarity. You are not the person you were when you began reading these words. You have been given the master key. You possess the secret formula. You hold in your hands the same principles that built empires and transformed ordinary individuals into legends. But knowledge without application is worthless. Understanding without action is emptiness. You must decide now, not tomorrow, not when conditions improve, not when you feel ready. Now. Decide that your mental attitude belongs to you. Decide that your purpose will not be negotiated. Decide that no circumstance, no person, no setback will steal your vision. And when you make that decision with every fiber of your being, something miraculous happens. The universe itself begins to conspire in your favor. Doors open, people appear, resources materialize, and the impossible becomes inevitable. So I ask you one final time, will you decide? Because at this moment, your destiny awaits your answer. Stand tall, speak power, act with faith, and declare to every force that would oppose you, I am unshakable, I am unstoppable, I am unbreakable. And so it is.
That's it for today. If this message resonated with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you catch tomorrow's message. Take action today. You'll be glad you did.